thank you. And then is it just, okay, we'll try it. That's me. So I, can you guys hear me? I'm not used to using a microphone. I kind of have a voice, so. So anyways, everything from pickup to delivery and everything in between does not matter where you're living or where you pass away. It's still just one phone call from your family. Now, as I said, I do about 4 or 5 presentations, lunch presentations in the restaurants from anywhere from Marco Island up to Venice. And I hear something almost every day that I've been doing this for the last 5 years. And that is, yeah, this is something I've been thinking about. I know it's something I should probably do. It's on my list of things to do. I always know it's on the bottom of everybody's list of things to do because it is not the most fun subject to want to talk about, think about, or spend money on, plan. But I also know that when this is taken care of, you never have to think about it again. Prearrangement planning is not for the people that are actually doing the planning. It has everything to do with taking care of the people that are left behind. That's why people pre-plan, is so that their loved ones, when you're gone and they've lost you, they don't have to go into a funeral home and make arrangements and provide information and perhaps possibly get upsold on things they really don't need. So pre-arrangement planning, I feel very passionate about. I was a nurse before I started doing this, and I ran into some situations. I had to take call and work nights and weekends, and I always knew when I got called in the middle of the night, I'm getting called into an emergent situation, patient in distress, family in distress, and most of the time we got to fix those people. Best part of the job by far. On the other end of that spectrum was when we weren't able to. And you end up having to go up to a person in a waiting room on the worst day of their life and ask them the dreaded question, who's coming to pick up your loved one? And it is the worst. You know, you'd get a look like, oh, are you crazy, lady? How could you ask me that? And I could give them a hug and a shoulder to cry on, but the only other thing I could give them was a list that the hospital gives to hand out to people in a situation like that. That's just no time or place to be making decisions or you know, having to do that, you know. I have had firsthand experience with pre-arrangement planning, and I've had the experience with no arrangements made. And all I can tell you is that my grandmother, who had done this for us, it left a feeling of, man, wasn't that just like her to take care of us even in the end? So it really is a wonderful thing, and kind of the last statement that you make. I'm going to kind of skip through this. We already kind of talked about that. This is kind of ironic. I always like to ask people, or kind of point this out. You know, we go every day, you know, planning for something that might happen with car insurance and seat belts. But believe it or not, there's a 1 in 10,000 chance you would have gotten in an accident coming here today. It's kind of funny. There's a 1-to-1 ratio that we're all going to pass away one day. We all have it in common. Nobody gets out of here any other way. And the irony is that a lot of us don't prepare for something that 100% is going to happen to every single one of us. So it's just kind of ironic. All right, I have some audience participation. I'm going to ask you all a couple questions. Show of hands. How many of you have made the decision that cremation is the way you want your final wishes carried out? Half the battle. You got 2 choices as of today. You have traditional burial and cremation. We'll go over a little cost comparison of national averages here today. How many of y'all have a will or a trust set up? Great, great. The only reason we ever ask about wills or trusts in this situation is just to point out the fact that a lot of people think that putting your arrangements in your will or your trust is sufficient and that you've taken care of it. But what people don't realize is that wills and trusts are for your stuff. It's not for your final arrangements, because final arrangements need to be made, paid for, and carried out long before a will is ever read. Long before any money is given to a beneficiary, they need a death certificate. To get that death certificate, final arrangements need to be made, paid for, and carried out. It's just a timing issue. So do I have any veterans here today? Any U.S. veterans? Just so you know, National Cremation, thank you for your service, of course. National Cremation and Burial Society has worked with the VA for over 40 years. There are benefits for you and next of kin. We do take care of all of that for your loved ones. So again, thank you for your service. This is, we kind of talked about this already. I get a lot of people that put it off because they want to just go, I'm going to ask my kids or my family or my loved ones what I should do. And I can assure you, your family does not want to make this decision for you. They hate having to go in their head to a place when you're not here anymore. So a lot of people, I always say, make the decision. You tell them exactly what you've done for them, and that all they have to do is make a phone call. They are lovely and very happy to be able to take and care of what your final wishes are and carry that out for you. That's their final thing that they get to do. Going to go over now a little cost comparison of traditional burial versus cremation. Traditional burial national average cost is just under $22,000. Forget it if you have a plot elsewhere and you pass away down here and you want a body shipped, it can actually add up to even higher cost than that. But we are here and we are talking about cremation. I'm going to give you the national average cost of cremation and kind of what goes into that as well. National average cost of cremation right now is about $4,500, and that doesn't even cover everything or cover you everywhere. With us, that is not our number, by the way. That is just taking into consideration. I've collected a lot of stories over the years here doing these presentations of why people are wanting to prearrange and pre-plan. But I had a gentleman at one of my restaurants. I was up in Venice last week working, and he was telling me how he had been getting our little invites in the mail for years, and he's been telling his wife, yeah, I got to get this done, got to get it taken care of. And he just hasn't gotten around to it. I'm like, well, you got a better offer, something else to do, you know. So he recently lost his sister up in Wisconsin. He had to go to Wisconsin and make those arrangements. And he said he came back and got real serious about doing his own. And he said, before I came here, I pulled out the paperwork that I had arranged for her arrangements. And he said, it added up to close to $6,000. And another gentleman heard us. He goes, in New Jersey for my mom, I ended up spending close to $8,000. So that's how we're getting that national average, like I said. But it is a 75% savings, cremation is, over traditional burial. Next, this is kind of just some questions to kind of know, if you don't have arrangements made, and God forbid something happens and you pass away, who's going to be in charge? What are they going to do first? What are they going to do second? Oftentimes, our person closest to us is in no shape to make any sort of arrangements, so somebody else has to step in and take over. So how do you ensure your wishes are going to be carried out the way that you want them to be? How do you know that you're going to pay the proper amount and not be taken advantage of? Who's going to put the money out to pay for the final arrangements? What if they disagree? Who's going to coordinate, file, and obtain all of the necessary medical permits, death certificate, notify Social Security, VA, Medicare, that kind of stuff? So it's a little chaotic at the time of need for what your family or loved ones would have to do if you don't have arrangements. We do all of that stuff when you have arrangements with us. Securing arrangements with us does stop inflation. We do guarantee our price. This is a copy of a plan from the first year that we were in business in 1973. This person secured their arrangements with us for $275 back in 1973. I have personally taken care of family members who their mom or dad had arrangements with us from the 70s and 80s. And they said, mom or dad said everything was taken care of, and I'll just have to, probably get some extra death certificates. When mom or dad passed away and I pulled out the paperwork and saw they spent $300, I thought, there's no way that these people are not going to ask us for more money. We do not. Your price is locked in and guaranteed. With that said, prices, just like everything else, do double in cost every 5 to 7 years. So, but once you have it locked in and taken care of, nobody's asking for any more money. This is, I always like to let everybody know a little bit more about our company, because I think it's super important to know, hey, who am I giving money to up front for something that's going to happen in the future? How do I know you're going to be there? I already told you we are the total package plan, meaning everything that is necessary and required, both service and merchandise, is included in our plan. We're not taking money from you now and preying on the fact that you're not going to be here anymore and we'll get more money from your family. Everything is included, nothing's left out. Worldwide coverage, including relocation. Again, doesn't matter if you end up having to move. I know we love this area and nobody ever wants to leave here, but sometimes things happen and we end up having to move. Does not matter. Your plan goes with you. Already told you we're the largest and oldest. We actually have close to $500 million in a state trust account. So money is very safe and secure. We have had an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. We won a very prestigious award from J.D. Power and Associates a few years back. Only 12 of these presidential awards for customer service have ever been given out for any type of business, and we won the 13th. And I always like to tell people, think about that. You know, even though maybe our customers can't complain, their family members sure can, and they're in a very emotional state. And for people to not only come back and say we took good care of their loved ones, but to win an award for, you know, taking such good care of these family members during a very, very, you know, hard time is something I always like to kind of toot our horn. We do have a parent company, and why that's important is because our parent company is called Service Corporation International. Service Corporation International is a publicly held company. It's traded on the New York Stock Exchange. It's been around since the early 1960s. They originally started out in the traditional funeral home and cemetery business back in the 1960s. They own us, which is National Cremation and Burial Society, Neptune Society, and all of the Dignity brand funeral homes. Out west, it's Trident Society, and there's some various, you know, different state societies, you know, throughout the United States. So money is very safe and secure, very transparent company, close to $14.5 billion. SCI is, it's a terrible term, but we're the largest provider in what they call the death care business. Terrible term, I know, but there isn't anybody that even comes close. So we are able to provide the service and, you know, the comfort to know that we are going to be there and be able to carry it out. Big change in the last 10 years. Just 10 years ago, 70% of people were still choosing traditional burial, and only 30% were choosing cremation. Totally flip-flopped in the last 10 years. I think money, obvious, it's a big, obvious change, you know, in cost. I think Catholic Church has changed its view on cremation, and I think families are just spread out. You know, it just makes it a lot easier for our loved ones. We talked about being an international and national company. Really, when you have arrangements with us, it doesn't matter where you're living or where you pass away. It's still a phone number. You get a wallet card, you put it in your wallet, you tell your people, you give them the other one, make a photocopy of the front and the back, and you tell them it doesn't matter where I am. Make the phone call, then we come and take over and take care of everything from there. So all the costs are covered if death occurs away from home. All the necessary paperwork is handled by us, and all of the transportation costs. I'm going to kind of get to the nitty-gritty part since this is a bit longer PowerPoint. So there's some little extras. Most people really want to hear, like, that's great. What do you do, though? What do you do, and what do you provide in your plan? What does that mean if you provide everything? So that phone call comes. You have arrangements with us. The phone call comes into us. This is what we do, and this is what we provide. So we provide and include all of the professional service by our funeral directors and our at-need staff. So not only are we taking you into our care, but we're taking your loved ones as well, letting them know every step of the way what is going on. They have a person that they can call if they have a question that is going to know what's going on. We provide and include all of the transportation and refrigeration. So this may sound a little morbid to everyone, but this is truly something that is super important to know. Local companies will cover you within a 50-mile radius of your home address. If you end up passing away outside of that 50 miles, family is going to get charged per mile for any transportation costs. That can add up very quickly. It's about $150 a day for refrigeration. And there's a mandatory wait period before cremation can happen. I will tell you, on an average, it's about 5 to 7 business days before that happens. So that can add up very quickly. With us, doesn't matter how far away from home, how close you are, how far away you are, doesn't matter how long it takes. Family is not going to get asked for any more money for transportation or refrigeration. We handle the filing of the death certificate and the necessary permits. We do the filing with Social Security, VA, and this is a big one. 100% of our cremations are done in our own facilities by our own staff with the price guaranteed. We do provide complimentary death certificate. This is the only added cost to your loved ones would be extra death certificates. They're a per state charge. Here in Florida, they're $11 a copy. We provide one. We notify, Social Security, VA. So really, truly, there's no need for 10 anymore. That used to be the magic number that everybody asked for. Most places are taking copies now. So, and or returning the originals. I've heard that one too. Then we handle disposition of remains. Now, this is where I always like to tell people, if you don't know what you want to do with remains, it does not matter. That can always be told to us, always be changed, always be updated. Just know that if you have a family plot in another state or you choose to use a national cemetery, that we will package and ship directly to that cemetery administrator and work with the family to get the interment done and or return your urn to your family members or designated persons, meaning packaging and shipping is included. So no need. They can come in and pick up if they want, but if not, that is not a big deal. We will get you to them. And next, I want to get into probably one of the best parts, and this is the part of this portion of planning that totally completes the circle of this portion of your planning. This is what is guaranteeing your family is not going to get upsold on anything. So you're given this urn kit ahead of time. It's a beautiful brown burlwood lacquer box. It has a spot for your picture in the top. I always suggest to my people this is a great, great place to put your important documents, papers, things that your family is going to need to get their hands on right away. Now, I get a lot of people, I don't care about that. They don't need that. Families love this. They love it. Nobody wants to go through drawers and file cabinets. They hate going through drawers and file. We all hate it. Nobody likes even looking for their own stuff in those file cabinets and drawers, right? But you get the planning guide. And you get this within about a week of securing arrangements with us. The planning guide is awesome. It explains everything that we do and all the steps that we take and everything that you've set up. And then in the back of that guide, it is a fill in the blank of everything that you should have in one spot for your family. Bank accounts, safe deposit box, this is where it is. Insurance policies with these companies, here's the policy number, here's the phone number. Credit cards, other debts, my attorney's name that has my trust and will and all of that. But it's fantastic. I know my parents went through and put photos in it and just stuff that was nice. It's like a little treasure box. It's really quite lovely. And you get the choice of urn, either a brown burlwood urn or a biodegradable urn. Both are a regulated size and shape for packaging and shipping purposes and for going in the ground or in the wall in any of the cemeteries. So it totally completes. Make the phone call, go look for the box, everything is taken care of. So this is just a letter that I love. I think this epitomizes why people want to pre-plan. I always get people when they make an appointment with me to get their arrangements, hey, can you email me a copy of that? But it's really quite lovely. It was shared with us, and I'm just going to read it real quick. And it says, "My dearest family, if you're reading this, then it means I'm no longer with you on this earth. It is my wish that you be spared from the anxiety, expense, and misery of dealing with the issues surrounding my passing. In this personal planning guide, you will find information that I have recorded and the planning that represents arrangements that I have made in advance, hoping in this way to reduce your burden during this troubling time. I ask that you use this guide with the National Cremation Funeral Director's help so that everything will be conducted in accordance with my final wishes. In the guide, I have recorded certain vital statistics that will be needed, as well as other important information that you will find useful in the tasks that lie ahead. I sincerely hope that you find these arrangements comforting and that they help you to focus on celebrating my life. I have done this because I love you, and I will be with you always." I think that's why people want to pre-plan, is to leave that feeling behind. So you get these. This is what your little wallet card looks like. It has a phone number on the front. It has your name on the back, on the front, and it has an international number on the back. If we ever get on those cruises again, and God forbid if anything ever happened out of the area, it still is truly a phone call from anywhere in the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They'll get a person on the phone. That person's going to prompt some questions, and then we take over and take care of everything from there. It really, truly is a phone call. All right, highlights of everything. Our plan is one simple plan. It includes all of the necessary and required services and merchandise, so there is no upselling. Today's price is fixed and guaranteed. Money is safe in a state trust account, and it truly is a phone call that gets us into action. So what we have been talking about up until right now is what we call direct or simple cremation, and that might be exactly what you're looking for. You know, oh, my family can do the celebration of life, or, you know, all of that. I don't want anybody. But we get a lot of people asking for a lot of other things in addition to this, and it is available for prepayment and price guarantee. I know I'm running out of a little bit of time, but we do have and offer simple viewing prior to cremation, basically for closure for your family. You get a lot of people that have kids and family out of the area that, my family's okay with the cremation portion, but they really would like to have the closure of being able to say goodbye. We are able to do that. It is a simple viewing, meaning you are dressed, prepared, not embalmed. Pillow, temporary casket, and prayer cards, and that's $499. Best part of that is if it does not get used, that family could be refunded that money and they can use it toward, whatever else they want. That's an option, not for everybody, but I do like to let people know because there are some people that really do want that. We also offer sea scattering. If you want us to do sea scattering, we can do that. You can pick Atlantic, Pacific, Gulf of Mexico. We're even able to scatter in the Rocky Mountains. And that is, family is provided the positive identification medallion and a certificate of longitude and latitude of where you were placed, and that too is $499. So I am going to offer up some incentives today as well. If you want to, after this, we'll go out there and we can chit-chat. I want to give you the price of the direct cremation. You do know the extras, and then I'll tell you what the incentives are. The cost is $3,073. That is, like I said, the coverage from pickup to delivery, everything in between, urn kit, everything. That's it. There are no hidden fees. We sit to do arrangements. There's not going to come up with any different price. That's what it is. Like I didn't forget to tell you, I forgot there was an admin fee or tax. That's it. So today for attending, if you want to set a time to meet or if you want to go back and we can talk some more, we do offer for paid in full a $200 discount off of that price for attending today. And we are offering a very awesome, so the cost would be $28.73. We are offering a special financing incentive as well. It doesn't offer the $200 off, but it is a $99 down payment, $50 a month at 0% financing. So you get your card, you get your box, you've locked in your price, you're just making payments. A lot of people ask, do you take credit cards? I like my points and miles. So I always get that. So I will be in the back out there in the they'll guide you out there if you want to chit chat. I'll answer questions, and if you want to set a time to meet with me, I do in-home appointments or we can set one. I always leave time today, too, like I said, if you want to go, I just want to get it off my plate. So we do offer 30-day right of rescission, not just the 3 days. So if you're feeling like you want to get something done, we always do that as well. So we try to make it as easy as we can. I thank you all for being here and taking that first step.